Well, hello there, and welcome back to my personal life channel. For those of you that are joining me for the first time, I am Pastor Michael Nicodemus. On this channel, I do a lot of home improvement projects, and that's what I'm doing right now. I'm actually doing part two of building this display case. What I'm going to do is I'm going to back the camera up a little bit and talk to you about what's going on here. We have made a lot of changes here. And so let's get started right after this introduction, and we'll come back and we'll see what we've got going on here. Probably the most exciting part about any thing that you're doing, let me get you a little closer here, is to see the project being worked on. So that's the display case. As you can tell, we've got quite a bit done. She's all stained as far as the inside perimeter. Now what we're going to do is we're going to be working on putting this paneling in there. We were going to go with a couple of different ideas. First of all, we thought about barnwood paneling, and we thought that was going to be too dark. And then we thought about knotty pine paneling, but that was going to be too expensive. So we got these pieces here in a 8-foot length, a package of 3 of them. So you cut them in half, and you have 6 4-footers. So these are a tongue and groove, as you can tell. So that's what's going to go in the back. So I think what I'm going to do is take this outside and put it on my workbench and lay it down flat, and we're going to go ahead and start establishing those. I did want to show you a couple other things that I picked up. First of all, I picked up the lights I'm going to put on there. And if you look at the back of the picture, it says we have a dimmer. We have 16 different light sequences, color light controls, white light controls, layout display function controls. So there's an awful lot going on in here. I also picked up some electrical stuff. Let me show you what's in this bag. We're also going to be doing this in a video. So I got a box. I'm going to mount that flat on the inside. And then, of course, we got a outlet that we're going to need inside there. And I got a little cover plate to go over it. But I don't want to see that metal plate, so I'm going to put a wooden thing around it. And then I'm going to drill a hole through the bottom and knock out one of these holes in there and put my wire through there. And what I found for a lamp cord is I'm just going to take a little 3-foot extension cord. I'm going to cut the plug end off of it and leave this end on here. I'm going to cut this end off of it, and then I'm going to attach that to that outlet. And that's what's going on. I think that's going to be a nice display case, and when we get our glass in there, it'll have different lights and a different light show, and I think that'll be great. We'll have a shelf there in a minute. Let me show you that. I have a bracket in there that I made. So right here, there's a support piece here. This will hold the glass going across the middle. Then when I get this paneling in here, once it's stained, I'm going to have a little piece of trim that will go around it, and it'll set and rest on that trim as well. On this side over here, I'm going to make that solid, and I'm going to put just a piece of glass down there after I get the framework built. And this thing is going to be going back into the wall. It'll look a lot tighter, and we'll have clamps on there. But the first thing we got to do is get that back done, get the electrical work done, and then we'll build this in. I'm going to varnish this. I think that's going to be better to do that outside. I've got about 4 days of nice weather before it gets cold over here in Colorado. Roughly, it's about the middle of November, so of 2021. So this project is going to take a facelift. So we're going to go outside and get this set up, and I'm going to set up my table saw, my miter saw, and my workbench, and I'll join you out on my workbench as we start putting some of this stuff together. So keep watching. Well, I got to start on putting the paneling in there. As you can see, it's really making a big difference. So I got this section done, and I started in here a little bit. I think what I'm going to do is I'm just going to let the camera play, and I'll probably time lapse it. I'm going to be making some noise. I got to use my saws. I got to use the nail gun. So I'm just going to mute my sound from here on, and then I'm just going to work on it. Just give you a little bit of an idea how I'm doing it. So enjoy the music, and please keep watching. Now here's where I got to open up the big package of the pieces I'm using. Let me show you. And this is the big roll they come in, and it says it covers. Let me tell you here. 13.9 square feet. So that's how much a package covers. This is about $23 at Home Depot. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and pause the video. I'm going to get some of this cut, and then when we get into this other bay, I'll come back again. So keep watching. Well, I'm able to get 3 pieces out of one of these. I think that's a pretty cool deal. And as you can tell, I'm almost to the end. Why don't you watch me put a couple of these on here, and we'll see what happens. What I need to do is figure out this piece I'm going to be putting across here. Going to make a piece of glass that's going to fit this opening, but I got to know where that 3/4 inch mark's going to reach it. So I'll work on that, and I'll come back and I'll show you what I'm going to do a little bit more up close. What I'm going to be doing is around the edges, I'm going to be putting a trim board that will box it out. And then there's going to be a piece of trim that's going to come across here that's going to hold the mirror in place. Not the mirror, but the glass shelf. The glass shelf will sit right here, so it needs to have a support. But I want to put a piece of trim there just to kind of dress it up and add some more style to it. We'll see what kind of trim we can find that will do that job. But I want to box it out and then put that trim piece across there. I think that'll look pretty sharp. So I'm going to finish off this end and probably make that end and get some plexiglass to put in there. And then the next thing I'm going to do is establish my electrical outlet. But what I want to do is get all this done, fill the holes, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to stain that, a natural stain. The rest of this is a golden pecan, so I kind of like the color transitions. But those trim pieces that I'm going to put in there, I'm going to do my a peachy pine that matches the trim inside the house. So it's really going to kick this out and bring it to life, so keep watching. Well, welcome back to day 2 of part 2 of building a display case. Let me show you what I've got done. First of all, I got my second coat of varnish on there. I wanted to point out this electrical outlet box here that's going to run the lights that I'm going to be putting in there. I just ran a extension cord through there, cut the end of it off, and wired it in. When I hook up put the baseboard over it, I'll make a little notch and that'll go to an outlet. So I had a box piece of trim all the way around it, and got this trimmed out in here. Now we're going to be putting a glass shelf in there, so I've got some wood here stained. It's going to come in here like this, get tacked down, and then I'll have another piece of trim that will go over the top of it and around it, be a decorative piece of trim. As you can tell, the trim is a different color than the rest of it. Kind of liked it that way. That's the way I ordered it. Not ordered it, but planned it out. So I have a support in the middle of this, in the middle of this. I'm going to find it, and then I'm going to tack in 3 nails here to hold it. I'll also glue that in. I also made a frame for the far end. There'll be a piece of glass in this. And this goes in this end over here. And all I got to do is stain that and varnish it. Then I'll take it to the glass shop and have them put a piece of glass in it for me. Then I'm going to probably make a pattern or a template for the glass shelf that's going to go on there. Also take that to the glass shop and have them put a probably 1/4 inch glass, I think is the best. This will have a wooden shelf in here. It's going to hold the light control that I showed you in yesterday's deal. So all in all, as soon as my varnish dries, this is my second coat of varnish, I'll put those pieces of trim in there. Tomorrow I'll probably do a light sanding. You always have to sand in between. So I'll probably do a light sanding, and then I'll varnish it again. And then we'll be ready to put the decorative trim up in there. So I'm liking how this is turning out. I think it's going to be a pretty cool thing. So when we come back tomorrow, what we're going to do is we'll put that back trim on there, and then we'll put the decorative trim that the glass shelf will sit on. We'll get a shelf in here, and then what we'll have to do is we'll have to wait for the glass to get cut and installed, and then we can get this installed in the house. So we can't really install it because this piece right here has to be nailed in from the back, on back here. And so I got to nail that in, and then I'll nail this end in. And then once we get that done, we can go ahead and install it into the frame. So I'll go ahead and finish staining that piece, and I'll be able to varnish that tomorrow too. And I'll have it all done, so all I got to do is tack it in there, and then I'll finish the holes. I don't want to take a chance of making a template or something for that glass that goes in there, so I'm just going to take the piece over there and have them put it in there. I think it'll be the best thing to do. So thanks for watching day 2, and come back tomorrow and we'll see what day 3 has to do when we finish this out, and then after we get the glass, and we'll get it installed. So thanks for watching, and we'll see you tomorrow. Well, welcome back to day 3 of this display case build. What we're going to be talking about in this section of footage on day 3 is the rope lights that have been installed. So this is a transfer piece. This is the RC that has to be in a straight line with the controller. So we're going to mount that right there. I'm going to fix all that wiring, but we need an outlet, so I have a box down in there that we're going to wire into an outlet. So that gives you an idea of how I framed it out. So I've got all my parts and all my tools. So I'm going to put you on the tripod down below so you can see what I'm doing. Please keep watching. Well, that's what the box looks like. So we want to cover it up so it's inside this door. There's going to be a solid door here so you can't see inside there. So we need to talk about what we're going to put in here. First of all, we have a steel box with a piece on here that will keep the wires tight. So I already put that in there. Now, one of the things that would work for this is an old lamp cord if you had one. But I don't have an old lamp cord, so what I'm going to do is I have a household short extension cord. As you can see right there, I'm going to just cut the end of it off with my lineman pliers. So we have 6 feet of cord here. 6 feet of cord according to the directions. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut this end off. This end right here, I'm going to cut this end off. So I don't need that end. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull these wires apart. Keep watching as I show that to you. What I'm going to do first is I'm going to run these wires up through this box. As you can tell, I already stripped them. Not stripped them, but cut them. And I'm going to bring it up in there a ways. And then I'm going to tighten these screws down. Now, the first thing I got to do is bring this up through this slot here. You can see the slot that I made there on the ground. So I can bend this back just a little bit, and I can feed those wires up through there. Then I can put that in that notch. Then I have room to work there, you see. So now what I can do is get down there on the floor, put this through here like this. I want to have a foot or so out of that box That'll give us enough right there. Then we can tighten those screws down. I drilled my hole big enough where I could feed that down through there, and it would set flush down in there. It don't work that way. Turn it around. But I did make it to fit down in that box. See, now they're down in there. Still have enough wire to work with. What I'm going to do is I'm going to screw my box down in there. Now, the box will stay put and be permanently attached in there. The little cord's out of the way. Alright. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to wire that outlet down in there. And simply stripping these wires here. Careful not to cut it off, because you'll have to move more of your cord up there if you accidentally cut this wire off. So all you need is that much, and then you want to wrap it around itself. Same thing on this side. Before you know it, you're out. I'm going to do a little bit more on this one, I think. Let's keep working with it. You'll get it. All right, now got my outlet. So you want to keep your round holes to the front of your case so you can plug that in. I find it easier to work on one that's got to go against the wall. It doesn't really matter on the polarity here, because you can change your lights around. If the polarity's wrong, you can just, but I think we're going to be okay. And we'll put this one on this side. Now y'all might have a different way of doing it, but I think this is the best way. All right, now I got that in there. Secure my outlet to the box. I'm going to go ahead and finish that off camera so I don't get in the way, and then we'll see how well this works. I'll be right back. Well, there is the box installed down in there. That lid fits pretty close and perfect. And as you can tell, when I get that trim installed, I'll cut a little bit of a notch underneath it so it is not being pinched by that trim. Trim is just loosely setting on it now. I'll probably have to get a little longer piece of trim for the front of this, because this piece right down here has to be tight against it. You can see that trim there by my foot. So I'll probably use that piece of trim over here on this side. What I want to do is I want to put knotty pine right here. And then what I'll do is where you see that cement right there, I'm going to pull that tight with my bar clamps, and I'll put a piece of trim along the bottom, and then I'm going to cap all this off at the top. But I'm going to run that knotty pine on this end right here. So when you're sitting over here, you'll be able to look around and see the knotty pine inside and then on the outside over there too. What I like to do is I like to set up my big camera, and we're going to get back here in my recliner. My recliner is right there. So I'm going to set up my camera and we're going to see if those lights work. Check back quick. Well, I believe this is about the position I was in when I started part one of this display case. What I like to do is I like to show you the controller. As you can tell, it has a lot of colors on there. So you got your power and your off button. Then you have your dim buttons, and then these are different lights that you can use. Then you got your white for just plain white. So you can't use this if this is on. So you have to shut your color off, and then you can turn your lights on. And it has different programs down here. Down here on the bottom, it says jump 3, fade 7, fade 3, flash, jump 7, auto, and then it has a quick and slow for your light program. And the light display is just that. You can go dim or bright, or you can hit 25, 50, 75, or 100 on your brightness. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to change the camera around, and we're just going to see if the lights come on, because you've seen everything that I've done so far. So let's change the camera around and let's check out this display case and see if it actually displays a light show. Well, I know it's kind of dark over in that corner, but here we go. Let's see if this thing works. Check that out. So that's the first thing that it's on. It's on jump 3, as you can see there. It changes colors. Let's go to fade 7. The gap that you're seeing at the top where the bar meets it, I'm going to be putting a piece of trim all the way around that so you won't see that. So that's fade 7 that is showing. I think that's pretty cool right there. Let's go to fade 3. Looks pretty cool. Let's go to flash. Then let's take it to jump 7. That's the color I like the most. Here goes jump 7. Then it has an auto control on it. Let's see what auto does. So let's just go down through the color sequences. Let's shut it off so we know where to start at again. Let me turn it on and we'll show you the different colors that it has. Okay, that's red. So there's different colors in the red zone. So that's orange. That's yellow. I think this is like a peach color. Pretty good color. This is like a lemon color here. Not much of a difference there. Let me go to the green color. Changes it just a little bit. Then we go to the blue color. And let's go to the white. I think that's like a pearl color. Now let's shut that sequence off, and then let's turn on our just the white lights. So there you see we have different colors. So that's at 25%, that's at 50%, that's at 75%, and then that one's at 100%. So we can go back down to the 25, and then we can also fade it lower than that. That's the very lowest that it'll go on 25. So let's go up there, and then let's take that down. See? So it has different adjustments. Let's put it on 100, and let's take it to bright. Let's back it down. So there it is, my friends. Let me show you probably my most favorite color of all of it. We shut that one off. Turn on the other color. Let's go brighten it up a little bit. And that's probably my most favorite color right there, because it really kind of highlights the knots in it. And if you can tell, I actually made it different colors. So the back of it is natural stain. The bottom of it is what we call a golden pecan. And the outside framework is also the golden pecan. But the trim that's down at the bottom and the trim I'm going to be putting up the side and around the top and around there, I'm going to be using the peach pine trim stain that I used on the rest of the stain. I think that shows a pretty cool display case. So part 3, what we're going to be doing is we're going to be getting it trimmed out and probably build a door or two. We also got to get glass on the corner, on the end there, over by the trash can, and then we got to get a glass shelf, and then those two openings in the front, those will be glass doors too. And that door over there to hide the electrical, it will be framed out of the 1.25" frame all the way around it. And then I'll bring in the knotty pine out to the face of that solid door, so it'll look like it's got knotty pine there, and then when we put the knotty pine over by the trash can, it's going to really pop it out. So I want to thank y'all for watching, and check back down the road for part 3 of this display case build. Thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe.